The universe is a perfect mirror of the words we speak and the thoughts we hold. Every word carries vibration, and every vibration calls forth its match. When we understand that our spoken word is a decree, we begin to guard our lips and shape our destiny with intention. Life does not happen by chance. It answers to the commands of the Spirit expressed through our words. When you speak in faith, with certainty and conviction, the universe has no choice but to obey, for divine law is precise and unfailing. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, you can speak words that set in motion unseen forces working in your favor. Say with assurance, "All that is mine by divine right now comes to me under grace in perfect ways." These words carry the authority of truth, and they summon the good that already belongs to you. Say, "I am divinely guided. I know what to do, and I do it at the right time." These words open the door of clarity, removing confusion and fear, allowing intuition to lead you on the straight path. Say, "God's wealth is circulating in my life, flowing to me in avalanches of abundance." These words break the false belief in lack and align you with the infinite supply that has never been withheld from you. Every word spoken is far more than a sound released into the air. It is a decree, a command, a seed planted in the invisible soil of the universe. The universe does not weigh whether a word is spoken in jest, in fear, or in faith. It simply receives it and begins to shape reality according to the vibration carried in that word. This is why words are powerful beyond measure, and why the wise are slow to speak but deliberate in what they say. When a person declares, "I am prosperous," they are not merely uttering a hopeful phrase, they are calling prosperity from the unseen into the seen. When one says, "I am always lacking," they unknowingly set in motion the very conditions they dread. The universe has no choice but to obey, because words are law once they are spoken with conviction. It is not the volume of the voice that gives power, but the faith and emotion behind the word. A whispered affirmation filled with certainty carries more force than a shouted complaint spoken in doubt. The ancients understood this truth, and it has never ceased to be true. Life responds to decrees, not to hesitation. When you see your word as a decree, you begin to treat it with reverence. You realize that your conversations shape your path, that casual complaints can call forth more of the same, and that idle words are never truly idle. A seed once planted cannot decide not to grow. It must sprout according to its nature. In the same way, every word once spoken begins to construct reality according to its essence. This is why it is said that we live in a world of our own making. The circumstances around us are often echoes of words spoken yesterday, last month, or even years ago. To change the outer world, one must first change the inner and outer words being spoken today. Consider the person who constantly says, "Nothing ever works out for me." Life, being obedient, arranges itself to affirm that belief, yet the moment that same person begins to speak differently, "Everything I need comes to me in divine order," a new pattern takes root, and the universe begins to realign circumstances to match that declaration. There is no resistance in divine law. It is neutral and precise. It creates according to decree, whether the decree is beneficial or harmful. That is why words must be guarded as treasures, because within them lies the power to build or to destroy. When you remember that words are decrees, you gain mastery over life. You begin to declare health where sickness tries to take hold, abundance where lack attempts to linger, and joy where sorrow seeks to dwell. You speak not what you see, but what you choose to call forth. You understand that your word is a wand, directing the unseen forces of the universe to bring about the form that matches your decree. Thus every word becomes a conscious act of creation, and the universe, unfailing in its obedience, answers. To speak in faith rather than fear is to align yourself with the highest law of the universe. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, and when your words are wrapped in faith, they become living forces that bring your desires into manifestation. Fear, on the other hand, is faith in the wrong direction. It is belief in evil, belief in limitation, belief that something outside of you has power over divine order. When a person speaks in fear, their words command the very conditions they dread, for the universe does not discriminate between positive or negative. It only mirrors what is spoken with conviction. To say, "I can never afford this," is to set a law in motion that ensures you will not. To say, "Every need of mine is met in divine order," plants a seed that compels provision to appear, often in ways you could never have imagined. The difference between faith and fear in speech is subtle but transformative. Both are acts of belief, but one opens doors while the other closes them. Faith-filled words are a bridge between the invisible and the visible. They affirm the good that already exists in spirit, calling it forth into form. Fearful words are like shadows. They obscure the truth and create illusions that seem real but dissolve when light shines. The person who speaks with faith becomes a magnet for guidance, opportunities, and blessings because they are speaking from trust in divine law, while the one who speaks with fear blocks their own good by affirming its absence. To speak in faith requires discipline, for the world is filled with appearances that tempt the tongue to agree with fear. Bills on the table whisper lack. Illness in the body whispers weakness. Delays whisper failure. But to give your words to these appearances is to give them power. Faith calls you to look past appearances and speak truth in the face of illusion. You may see lack, but you say, "I am supplied from the inexhaustible storehouse of the universe." You may feel weakness, but you declare, "The life of God flows through me, renewing and strengthening me." You may face delay, but you affirm, "What is mine by divine right cannot be withheld. It arrives at the perfect time." Each time you choose to speak faith instead of fear, you are exercising dominion over your world and reminding the universe of its duty to obey divine order rather than appearances. The habit of speaking in faith transforms the mind and the atmosphere around you. It creates an expectancy that good is inevitable, that blessings are already on their way, that solutions are unfolding even now. Fearful speech produces anxiety, heaviness, and closed doors, while faith-filled speech produces peace, lightness, and open pathways. One aligns with divine law, the other resists it. So the wise person trains their tongue to utter only words of faith, for in those words lies the secret of answered prayer, the key to abundance, and the power to create a life filled with miracles. To affirm divine right supply is to remind yourself that you already live in a universe of infinite abundance, and nothing can be withheld from you that rightly belongs to you. Lack is never the truth of life. It is only a shadow cast by fear, doubt, or false belief. The universe holds an endless storehouse of good, waiting to flow into your experience, and it responds swiftly when you declare that you accept only what comes to you by divine right. When you affirm, "All that is mine by divine right now comes to me under grace in perfect ways," you are placing yourself under the law of harmony, where supply reaches you without struggle, without conflict, and without delay. These words are not wishful thinking. They are decrees that command the universe to align your outer conditions with the spiritual truth of abundance. The affirmation of divine right supply is powerful because it cancels out the illusion that you must beg, chase, or compete for your good. Many people live in the belief that they must strain endlessly to secure what they desire, that opportunity is scarce and must be seized by force. But the law of divine supply teaches otherwise. What belongs to you cannot be taken away, and what does not belong to you will bring no peace if it is gained. When you affirm divine right supply, you acknowledge that your blessings come directly from the source of all life, and therefore no man, no circumstance, and no condition can withhold them. They are yours by eternal law. This affirmation also breaks the chains of envy and comparison. When you see another prosper, you need not feel lack, for their good is not yours, and your good is not theirs. Infinite supply cannot be exhausted. The success of another is proof that the law works an assurance that it can work for you. By affirming divine right supply, you keep yourself rooted in the truth that what you require is already on its way, and it will arrive at the appointed hour in the appointed form. Your task is to keep faith steady and words aligned with truth, for doubt and complaint can close the very door you are waiting to see open. To affirm divine right supply is also to free yourself from fear of loss. What is yours cannot be taken from you, for it is sustained by divine law, not by human effort. Even when something appears to leave your life, a job, a possession, a relationship, it is often only making room for the greater good that belongs to you. By affirming, only what is mine by divine right can come to me, and what is not mine departs with ease and grace, you allow the universe to remove hindrances and bring better things into view. You stop clinging to what has no place in your life, and instead open your hands to receive greater blessings. When you live with this affirmation on your lips, you walk in assurance rather than anxiety. You no longer look at the world as a place of scarcity, but as an overflowing fountain of supply that never runs dry. You speak your decree, and the universe obeys, delivering what is yours in ways you could not have devised. This is the peace of divine right supply, knowing that you do not chase, you do not grasp, you simply declare, and what is yours arrives under grace in perfect ways. Would you like me to move forward and expand the fourth key point into 500 words in the same flowing style? To rest in spoken peace is to understand that the final words you speak before sleep are not lost in the silence of night, but rather they go forth as messengers, creating conditions that await you in the morning. The mind does not sleep as the body does. It continues to work, to absorb, and to shape experience based on the last impressions it has received. When you lay your head on the pillow with anxious thoughts, with words of worry or doubt, you are handing your subconscious a blueprint of unrest to magnify throughout the night. But when you choose to speak peace, safety, abundance, and renewal before you close your eyes, you hand your subconscious a pattern of harmony to expand and deliver back to you in waking life. Spoken peace is a key that unlocks rest for the body, clarity for the mind, and alignment for the spirit. Nighttime is sacred because it is the hour of surrender. The world grows quiet, duties are set aside, and the conscious mind releases control. At this moment, the words you speak carry tremendous power, for they sink deeply into the fertile soil of the subconscious without resistance. To whisper, I dwell in safety, I rest in abundance, I awaken renewed and surrounded by blessings, is to plant seeds that grow while you sleep, producing a harvest of calm, order, and prosperity that greets you with the dawn. It is not enough to merely think these truths, they must be spoken, for the spoken word is law, and the universe responds to its vibration. Resting in spoken peace also protects you from the world's noise. Throughout the day, you are bombarded by words of fear, lack, and limitation, conversations that reinforce struggle, headlines that proclaim danger, thoughts that echo past disappointments. If these impressions are left unchallenged, they continue to shape your life unconsciously. But by speaking peace before you sleep, you wash away the stains of the day. You replace every fearful imprint with a decree of harmony, and you give your inner world a fresh canvas upon which the divine can paint. Spoken peace is a shield. It guards your rest and preserves your energy for the good that awaits you. When you practice this nightly habit, you begin to notice that mornings no longer arrive with heaviness, but with expectancy. You rise feeling supported, refreshed, and aware of unseen forces working in your favor. You find that solutions present themselves effortlessly, doors open smoothly, and even challenges seem softened by grace. This is no accident. It is the outworking of the words you planted the night before. Peace spoken is peace lived, and the law never fails to reproduce the pattern set in motion by your decrees. To rest in spoken peace is to live as one who trusts the universe completely. It is to declare that you are safe, provided for, and renewed, not because circumstances guarantee it, but because divine law guarantees it. It is to remember that your word is creative power, and even in the silence of night, the universe hears and obeys. By ending each day with declarations of peace, you not only rest your body, you rest your soul in the assurance that all is well, and all shall unfold in perfect ways. Would you like me to now expand the fifth key point into 500 words in the same Florence Scovel Shinn style? The law never fails, for it is the eternal order by which the universe operates, steady and impartial, unaffected by the moods or opinions of man. Just as gravity does not choose whom it will serve, divine law does not waver or bend according to circumstance. It is absolute, constant, and unfailing. Every word spoken, every thought held with conviction, sets this law into motion, and it produces with precision the pattern impressed upon it. When people complain that their prayers are unanswered, or that the law has failed them, it is never the law that faltered, but rather their own inconsistent use of it. To doubt after affirming, to cancel words of faith with words of fear, is to sow and uproot the seed in the same hour, leaving nothing to grow. The law does not play favorites. It simply returns to each person the harvest of their spoken decrees. To understand the certainty of the law is to live with greater confidence and assurance. You no longer question whether your affirmations are working or whether the universe has heard your words. You know that every word released in faith is a seed that must sprout in its appointed season. If the harvest seems delayed, it is not denial but timing. The law arranges circumstances, people, and opportunities in perfect harmony, and this orchestration sometimes requires patience. Impatience, however, does not break the law. It only blinds you to the quiet unfolding of your good. Faith holds steady, knowing that what is spoken in alignment with divine truth cannot fail to appear. The unfailing nature of the law should also awaken a sense of responsibility. Since every word carries power, careless speech can create as surely as intentional affirmations. Words of complaint, bitterness, or fear are as binding as words of faith, and they too call forth their harvest. Many live surrounded by the results of their own unguarded words, wondering why misfortune clings to them, unaware that their lips decreed it long ago. The wise, therefore, watch their words diligently, speaking only that which they desire to see made manifest. By aligning speech with truth and good, they ensure that the law produces blessings rather than burdens. The certainty of the law is also the greatest comfort. It means you do not live at the mercy of chance, luck, or the whims of others. It means there is a divine order underlying every circumstance, and you have the ability to call it forth through your words. Even when appearances seem chaotic, the law is at work, bringing balance, restoration, and provision. To stand in this truth is to stand on solid ground. Fear dissolves, for you know that no situation is beyond the reach of divine law, and no prayer spoken in faith can return void. When you declare your good with assurance, when you speak words of health, abundance, and peace, you are not hoping. They are guaranteed by the unfailing law. Heaven and earth may change, but the law endures. It is always working, always responding, always reflecting the decrees placed upon it. To rest in this knowledge is to live in freedom, for you know that the universe never fails, and therefore your word, spoken in faith, can never fail either. Your word is your wand, the instrument by which you shape the unseen substance of life into visible form. Just as a sculptor carves stone into beauty, or a painter draws colors into harmony, so does your spoken word carve out the conditions of your world. Words are not empty sounds, they are commands sent forth with creative power, carrying vibration that summons their likeness from the universe. When you speak in faith, you wave your wand with purpose, directing invisible forces to arrange themselves in your favor. Every decree is a stroke upon the canvas of your destiny, and life responds precisely to what you declare. The wand of the spoken word works whether one is conscious of it or not. Many people wave it carelessly, declaring lack, struggle, and defeat, and then wonder why life mirrors their complaints. The universe, being faithful, produces exactly what has been commanded. To say, "I never have enough," is to instruct the law to withhold supply. To say, "Everything works together for my good," is to instruct the law to rearrange events toward harmony. The wand does not judge, it obeys. This is why wisdom teaches us to guard the tongue, to release only words that carry life, hope, and abundance, for once spoken, they move into action and cannot be recalled. To understand your word as a wand is to live with intention. You no longer speak thoughtlessly, for you know each word carries weight. You use affirmations as declarations of truth, not idle phrases. When you say, "Doors of opportunity fly open for me," you are not wishing but commanding the invisible to swing open pathways. When you affirm, "Divine order governs my life," you are not hoping but decreeing that harmony directs your steps. The wand of speech is most powerful when wielded with unwavering faith, for faith adds fire to the word, making it irresistible in its command. This creative power also teaches the futility of negative speech. To complain, to speak doubt, or to declare failure is to wave the wand against yourself. Such words conjure obstacles and delays, not because life is cruel, but because the law is precise. The wise person therefore chooses silence over destructive speech, knowing that even unspoken thoughts are seeds, but spoken words are decrees set in motion. Better to speak nothing than to release words that work against your own good. Yet far better still is to speak boldly in alignment with divine truth, to wave your wand with certainty, and to watch the universe obey. When you grasp that your word is your wand, you become the magician of your own life, shaping circumstances with purpose rather than drifting in chance. You stop waiting for others to grant you power, for you realize you already hold it on your tongue. Each declaration is a spell of creation, each affirmation a key that unlocks blessings. With every word, you summon health, wealth, love, and peace into form. The universe, unfailing in its obedience, answers, and life, becomes a reflection of the magic you speak.